Alright, I know what you're thinking. Not another DIY. I don't know. I just think I really like these DIY videos. I've been making them lately because I keep coming up with things I need to make and repair. So here we go, another DIY video. And this is another monoprice 4-channel snake modification video. And that was the first video I made, was a snake modification video on how to make these a little more robust and hold up a little better under live use. And so here's a brand new snake that I didn't even know I had hanging around, and I'm going to make it into a snake with a actual box on the end with 4 XLR panel mount connectors on it. This box I got for about $10 Canadian at Home Depot. You can use one of those Hammond project boxes, aluminum box, that kind of thing, but these are inexpensive and they're lightweight and they're a little easier to deal with when you're trying to drill and cut, and they're readily available. You don't have to go to the electronic supply store to get it. And I have a strain relief to put the snake cable through. I'm hoping I have the right size. We're going to find out shortly. And I got my trusty Sharpie, my new extreme Sharpie. Fade resistant. Doesn't need fade resistant for this job, but that's my preferred Sharpie of choice nowadays. Brand new. And I've got my trusty step drill. These are very easy to come by on eBay and Amazon. This guy was about $12. You can buy them at your local hardware store too in smaller sizes. This guy is great because it's got the larger sizes all in one to drill these holes for these panel mount connectors, which in the past I've had trouble drilling them and had to take the Dremel or a file and open them up a little bit more to make them the right size because my step drill wasn't the right size. And I've got another small drill bit and some screws to attach the connectors in when I'm done. And I'm using screws because pop rivets are great, but then you have to drill them out if you want to replace the connector. So I'm going to use screws for this to make it quicker, simpler, and I already have lots of screws. And of course I need my drill, and I use my impact gun as a drill all the time because it's a quick release for the drill bits. And it's just great for driving screws. So anyway, let's get to it. Sometimes I'll use measuring tape and rulers and get real fancy with measuring things. But in this case, I wanted to lay these connectors out in a fashion that looked like it was meant to be. So sometimes you just get creative with what you got on hand. Sometimes you don't feel using tape measure. Sometimes it's harder to use a tape measure than it is just to use things you have laying around. So I have my trusty Sharpie in my hand, and I laid these out in such a way after finding the center of the box with the screws with a straight edge. So I found the center. I said, okay. Lined up the corners with the center. Pretty easy. And laid them out. So okay, took my Sharpie, top and bottom, made sure they were lined up with that. Lined up with that at the top. And then pretty much lined up the sides. So everything's equal distance from the outside. And these have these nice little nubs all around the connector. So I just took my Sharpie and marked where the nubs are. This one's a little harder on the top because it's got the tab in the way for the release. But anyway, pretty simple. You take something that's a straight edge. Could be anything. Could be a pair of scissors, or side of a piece of packaging. Could be a piece of cardboard. And then mark the center for each connector. Pretty simple. As long as it looks good and symmetrical, it's great. And then next, I'm going to go and drill my center holes. Now, and part of the reason why I pre-drill these 4 holes, even though the step drill will totally drill the hole with its own pilot, at the end of the bit, I drilled these 4 small holes, and I've taken a piece of scrap cardboard. This is the leftover cardboard from the packaging for my great cell phone case. Thank you, Night Eyes. I'll probably do a review on that eventually. And I've cut this piece of cardboard the exact size of the front of my cover plate. Now what we're going to do is put in my drill bit. And then we take Mr. Drill Bit and drill through the holes we'd already drilled. Holding it on and drill through the cardboard without drilling through your fingers. While keeping the cardboard lined up. Cardboard still lined up. Now the trick to this is, the reason we're doing this, we're making a template. If I have lots of these snakes, I'd like to make a second one of these down the road, and I'd like them to be matching. So now, when I want to make another one of these, I just put this on top of the box, line it up, we'll mark it. This side out. And that way, when I want to make another one of these to match the other one, first one, all you do is put your cardboard on top, line it up, drill 4 holes, or you can mark it with a Sharpie and then drill the 4 holes. So there's my template for the next time. Okay, I've put the step drill in my drill, and what I've done is kind of matched up by eye approximate size of the hole. So it looks to be about a 3/4. It's marked on the thing here. So I take my Sharpie and I just mark a little mark so I have an idea of where those are going to go. And then we'll just try one. Now I'm going to view this from the side here so I know how deep I'm going. And let's see how far we're getting there. These step drills sure make a nice hole in this plastic, and they cut very nicely. Oops! Didn't have my drill chuck tight enough. No biggie. No biggie. Almost there. Almost there. Ooh, so whatever size that is, that's going to be it. What size hole is that? I think that's a 3/4, 7/8 hole. 7/8 hole. So we do the same thing here. direction here. That's the right size. That's the right size. What it'll do is you drill a hole the right size to the top, and if it's not quite all the way through because of the thickness of the plastic, we'll just pull the cover off once we drill all 4 holes, and we'll drill them all the way through from the other side. Alright, I figured it out. So it ends up being a 1-inch hole. So you just go up the next size hole to 1 inch, and it fits perfect. So to mark my template for the hole for the side here, what we're going to do is I'm going to use the opposite side of my template for the top. I'm going to hold that onto here so I know as long as I line it up with that. Hold inside here, and we just take Mr. Hole, and we just take Mr. Drill Bit and mark it. And then, ta-da, we have our line-up hole, which we can take the drill, and now we have a template. So what we do with this guy here, we just mark this. Now we take our small drill bit and drill little pilot holes for these wonderful little grooves. And take our screwdriver and test out the holes. There's one. Bingo. Here we are. Got our strain relief, our 4 connectors for the 4 microphone connections. Let's move on to the cabling section. Alright, so now the trick is this needs to end up being a snake with a box on the end instead of snake with cable tails on one end. So that means we have to disassemble this end. So we'll save all the pieces, and so now we just unsolder all of these connections like so. A little poke and twist, little poke and twist, piece of cake. Alright, so now I've got my box labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I labeled them on the back side so I can keep it straight. I'm not having to get something backwards, get the color code wrong. So first time I go to the gig with it, plug something in, it's not coming up in the right place. Then I have to go back and unsolder everything and resolder back in place. So it's just a little bit of preparation. Goes a long way. So we get our nice soldering iron and we get our bunch of solder unrolled here, clean the tip. These are nicely labeled so you can see who's who. I might just change this around the opposite direction now I know where everything is. nice. It's awful nice working with brand new connectors. I always consider that a luxury. Sometimes I build stuff, you just don't have the luxury of using brand new stuff. You have to go and find connectors and reuse, repurpose, recycle. So sometimes it takes a little extra work, but here sometimes it's brand new stuff. Boy, oh boy, this is great. This is great. So now we have all our connectors tinned, and we already established that the red of each connection is pin 2. This guy says pin 2, and they're already tinned up from the other connectors, so we don't have to do that anymore. We just heat the connector, done. And then pin 1 is over here, opposite pin 2. And same thing with that guy. Take a little finagling here. Better light in there, you can see better. And we just put our cables inside, and we put our cover back on the box. And the next step will be the label maker later on. And we'll label these with label maker with the numbers on them. And we have a completed snake. And there you have it. One completed snake. So this guy is a little bit easier when you're dealing with multiple cable runs. I love the snakes the way they were, but in this case, it's sometimes much easier if you're going to be repatching things over and over again, that you have actual connectors that you can push in, and you're not digging through a bunch of little cables on the floor trying to find which is whose. So there you go, one completed snake with a box. Real pro, real cool. Even if you don't make one for yourself, hopefully this demystifies a little bit about how some stuff is done in Pro Auto World. This is a great project to do if you already have one of these. Hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe, thumbs up, comment. Love comments. Comments make my day. Rock on.